All right. So yeah. I had a vision, right? I had it like maybe like a couple of years ago, maybe like a year or two. I can't remember exactly, but um, I guess I felt kind of weird about sharing it, because I don't know why, but for some reason I was feeling kind of weird, but I'm gonna share it with you because I the way things are going, I feel like I probably need to put it out there. Maybe some people need to hear it. You know, and yeah. So I was uh I was going to the gym, right, and I got to the parking lot. I was just sitting there, and this thing was coming to my mind, right? It was more like an idea. It wasn't like it wasn't all at once, right? It was more like a puzzle. Usually, this stuff it comes in with like an idea, like maybe it's like something that you're interested in, and you start thinking about it, and then more stuff started to come, and you're like, wait a second, and before you know it, I was like, wait a second. So it's one of those, because it's not my first time dealing with this stuff. Um, so after I realized what was happening, I decided to go home, and then I laid in my bed because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna you know see what this is about. So as cancel going to the gym, and then I just okay, all right. So the vision started with like what looked like a city, and they have people walking around, minding their own business, and while people are walking around, then something happened. I don't know if it happened in the same area where the city is, or if it happened somewhere else, but what I would say it's like a seal, right? Like a circle popped up, but like, and that circle, it came with like a frequency, it's like a rhythm, like it's like a best way to say it's like a music, right? But it's not like a music. It's more like a continuous pattern, like a pattern that like a type of vibration that's repeating itself. But at first, it was like very, very faint. I don't think most people even notice it. So that kind of led me to think that it wasn't around where people would have noticed the circle. You know what I'm saying? So and but eventually later on it got stronger and stronger and stronger. So then after the circle popped up, right, it jumped to like a different scene, like to where they had those priestly looking guys. I don't know if they're priests or not, but they were wearing those priestly garment, and they're like like they're kind of like this, but their robe was all the way down to their feet. But they weren't wearing like white, like how in the Bible they always think about how they're all wearing like all white, but these guys, they weren't wearing all white. They had like colors, different beautiful colors and stuff, and the robe that they were wearing, and they were standing around like a circle. It was like I can't remember how many of them were there, but they were standing around a circle, and the place that they were in some resembled this. Just imagine like a whole bunch of, like, you see how she's like perfectly lit to where it looks like she's glowing, right? It's the same thing, I have it. Just imagine like a whole bunch of priestly looking dudes and stuff wearing long white and different colors. They had like white, but they're white. It wasn't just white. It had like different colors and stuff. And yeah, so they were standing around it, around like a circle. And then it jumped to a scene, right? And at first, I thought this was like a vote. I was hoping, right? Because it looks like a vote wheel. But as I was doing this video, because I was like, let me find a picture so I can kind of illustrate it better. I'm not the best at doing that, so I come to realize that it wasn't like a vote wheel, and it was actually this. This is I think it's called the Hadron Collider. It's made by like a company named CERN, and yeah, this is what I believe I saw, but I confused it with a wheel, like a volt wheel instead. So, but in the middle of this, see how it has like an opening right here, right? There was a black circle. Now I think I'm gonna talk about this later, what I think it is and what the purpose of it is. But let me just tell you what. Let me just go straight to the entire vision, and then I'll try to tell you about what I think is going on. Anyway, so it was this black circle. I just imagine a circle like this in the middle of this, and this thing right here, right? Somehow in the dream, it seemed like it was connected to the cell towers, right? All these cell towers that we have everywhere. And now in the vision, right, it looks like it was cell towers, but like as I was doing looking for pictures, most stuff was kind of coming, and I remember about this harp. There's this thing called harp. What? Oh, I'm back. So I think I was talking about the cell towers. Something came up. So yeah, these cell towers, right, and harp. And some people say this thing is used to make earthquake, but it's possible that's not really their purpose. It's just this is like the effect of whatever they are used for. So pretty much in the vision, this right here, the Hadron Collider. See, they have this thing called dark matter right here. See, I'm not making this up, and this is what that is. I was gonna wait till later to talk about it, but pretty much this is what they're pretty much using this thing for, I believe. That's what they're saying anyway. But in the dream, right, these towers, these antennas, they were being used to boost that frequency, which is what causing this sphere to appear. And as it got stronger and stronger, it seemed like for some reason that it was like the earth was in kind of like the powers were out, and the people believe that the power was out because of the earthquake. But in reality, it was out because every energy was being used to power these antennas, and every available energy was being transferred to these antennas, and these antennas would electrifying the sky, and they were creating this circle. It's so, and then they jumped to like a different scene to where the Earth, the Earth was in the middle. It was the Earth. It was like shinier than this. It was like very bright. Looked like it has like a shield around it. Like how like we have the atmosphere. How the Earth is believed to have like a shield, like protected from radiation and stuff. But it seemed like the Earth was like in the middle of a stadium. It looks like how like a stadium, they have the seats go from the bottom and then it goes up, 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 up. You know what I'm saying? That's the further it goes away. And the Earth was at the middle of it, and they had all these entities or dark creature. You couldn't really see them compared to the priest. That you could see the priest. They are in dark place, but you could see them. But these guys, they were just in complete darkness. You could only tell like because you could see like the outline maybe of them. You knew something was there, and the Earth was being hit with a frequency, right? Now, like in a dream, it seemed like not a dream, but in the vision, I come to realize that the frequency that the Earth was being hit, right, was the same frequency that those antenna was playing, right? Which is gonna explain why they need this black matter or dark matter stuff. So anyway, so I'm gonna continue, and they were hitting it. This is like they didn't look like this. I was just trying to find like a illustration of what they might look like, but I couldn't really tell you what they looked like. I just know there was something there, and there was this frequency that was hitting the Earth, and then eventually, right, the circle cracked, and yeah, it turns out that the circle was some sort of like a portal, and these creatures that was just standing outside of the Earth, right, and this circle opened, and now I can't really say if they all came in or maybe like one of them came in, but like something came in, right? But as soon as it came in, it switched to like it looks like this at first, like I guess all of them did come in, but like there was something inside of like inside of the like a cube, right? It was like a cube. There was something in it, but each one of those creatures became like a point, like a light bulb, right? And they all like, and to where like they all became like a light, to where you couldn't see what was happening inside of the box, and all it was like a shiny. It was a cube of light, So as soon as they came in, they were no longer like total, like they weren't like shadowy creature anymore. They switched to like light, they became like lights and stuff. So then it seemed like, I don't know what happened in between, I can't remember, but after that it seemed like it kind of looked like, you couldn't really see what was inside of the cube, right? it was shiny. So, but after that, it changed. It changed like it kind of looked like a scene of a out of like the like a Jehovah Witness type of like scene, you know. So yeah, it looks like a something out of like a Jehovah Witness scene, you know, where they have the green grass, but it more resemble like the you remember this old Windows XP background, you know how they have this the field of green grass and stuff. It's like, but it's more like this, you know. And they had people, and then they had the cube thing in the background, and they had like people that was ministering to the people, like the because the people came, I guess they you know they came to find out what this cube was, and they had those I would say maybe what you could call like, I don't know if they were angel, but I know there was like people in white ministering to the people about the cube, you know. So, but you couldn't really see what was inside of it. So yeah, and and then the scene changed, right? Like remember, like the scene was like at first it was like green, it was beautiful, everything was like it seemed like kind of nice and stuff, you know. But it switched to um like a desert-ish type environment to where the wind was kind of scorched. You could see the fume coming from the ground. You know, it's not, it was no longer the green scenery anymore. And I remember like while this scene was going on, this thing like it spoke. You know, it like it talks. It had like an authority about it. Like it demanded like attention, but like nobody could really see what was going on inside of the of the cube that was it was just floating in the air, so nobody really get to see what was happening. So after after it changed scenery, right? I don't know if it's the same area, but it looks like it was the land was no longer green. It was more like burnt. Then you know, this is the first time that like I have got to see what was inside of it. So yeah, okay. So it seemed like something jumped from inside of the cube, right? Oh yeah. One more thing. It seemed like that whatever was inside of it, right? Inside of the cube. Now, I know there's like in the text it says like, you know, something was like wounded, right? But it seemed like I don't know. It was more like instead of it being wounded, it was more like it used all of its energy pretty much to unlike the on this side where they use the antennas, you know, to boost the frequency. Like I guess on the other side, it was whatever it is energy that was, you know, being used. So it was like it probably thinking maybe it was drained of its energy, and it was like pretty much almost dead. So and it's either the people revived it you know, they gave it like some like power or something, but like they never really saw what was inside. I think this is like the first time like they saw. I don't know if there was anybody around to see what was inside, but it's something jumped down from the cube, right? And it kind of looked like this, like, you know, it looked like beastly, you know. Probably, you know, it didn't look exactly like this, but I'm just giving you an example. But one thing I remember about it, right? It has giant, flat horn, giant, like not like, you know how the devil was supposed to have like horn, giant horn, but his was like giant and they were flat. They looked like, you know how this is Anubis, right? It's like one of those Egyptian god, and he had those. It kind of looked like this, but they were just giant and flat. And he looks like he was pissed, like he was, whatever it is, it was mad, like, and now on top of this, like while he was standing there, right, you could see the fume rising on the ground behind it, and he was standing on the scorched earth and stuff, and on top of, like, in the middle of this giant horn, there was like a circle. It was like a portal, right? And you could see these people. Let's see. I'm trying to find, like, okay, see how they all sitting down, but I don't think they had wings. They were just like a whole bunch of them. They were just sitting down like in a row, and then there's like another row behind it, and there's like another row behind it, and they were spectating what was happening. So yeah, so and there was like this, and the portal was like right above his head, and then the transmission stopped. Like, it's just, there was nothing else coming. It was that's it. Like, you know, there was, okay. So all right, so that was the end of the vision. You know, it wasn't like I was sleeping. But anyway, so let's go back to CERN, pretty much. Now, there's already a whole bunch of speculation that CERN is trying to use a portal to open, trying to use this collider to open the gate. And I think it's true, and in this vision, I understand why they need the dark matter, or this black matter, whatever it is. What is it called? Dark matter, yes. The DM, whatever. I understand, like, it kind of like, it came to my mind after, because after a lot of, I mean, usually when you have this vision, not everything comes, everything is not always as clear at first, but it's like the more you think about it, it's like, oh, okay, I see why this is important. So the reason for the black or the dark matter is that this right here is a transmitter. You know, it's like it transmit data from dimension to dimension. So in order for them to kind of open a gate, right, or break the open a gate or create a portal, they have to have matching frequencies. So those beings, those creature that was on the other side, they were hitting the earth with a frequency, and at the same time, on inside of the Earth, it was also being hit with the same frequency. So the Earth was getting hit from the inside and the outside at the same time. So, which eventually the portal happened. It's like they had to have the black, the dark matter to be able to transmit, data from the other side to our side, and this right here, this information that was coming through this was being transmitted to the antennas, right? And now it kind of explained why they're spraying the sky, right, with the chemtrail. Like there's a lot of conspiracy about it's called chemtrail. Is that how you spell it? I don't know. Okay. Yes. Yeah, they have those they're spraying this metallic chemical in the sky. And some people said, so they have this chemtrail and contrail. Some of it is where the plane can leave like a vaporized trail, but there's a different where it's actually like a chemical that's being sprayed in the sky. So and this is the reason that they are spraying this chemical in the sky, and it's because it's making the sky more conductive, I could say. Yeah, that's the right word. So to where, like, when they turn on this system, the energy can travel easily, and it'll to where they can open the gate. So yeah, and I believe it talks about it in the Bible realistically, and at least that's what I think it's talking about when it talks about there's like a beast or something that comes out of the sea or something like that, and one of his head was like wounded and stuff, and it was brought back, and people were saying, who can make war with this thing right here? I think this is what they were talking about, because this thing, people are gonna think that this is the second coming, or this is the return of the gods, or they're gonna be fooled, because in the vision, people can't really tell what's inside of the cube. Really, they can't because they're not allowed really to approach it, because in the vision they were kind of far from it, and it's the people that represent the cube that was ministering to them. It's kind of like they were like, they're kind of pointing toward and saying, hey, look, this is so and so, and it looks like this, but it gave me like a Jehovah Witness, Watchtower vibe. You know what I'm saying? It kind of looked like this, but instead of having like a person that's sitting on the throne, you don't get to see what's inside of it. You know what I'm saying? You only get to see like the cube and it's shining. You don't get to see an outline. It's just completely covered with light. At first, it was like a pointy, different point light. So yeah, and that's it. I hope you guys get something out of this. So yeah, I can't think of anything else to show you, but pretty much this is what happened in the vision. And yeah, the guy, he whatever it is, he jumped down. Now it's like a second part, right? Because it's not like it wasn't like so that like after the beastly looking creature, right? Where is it? Yeah, the beastly looking creature jumped down, and you could see there's like a opening above his head. I guess that's signifying that he's responsible for either is somehow related to these people, because they seem like they may be the soul of like the saints, or the soul of like dead people that are like witnessing what's happening from like another dimension, because you're not seeing them on Earth. They're like somewhere else, but you're only seeing like an opening, and the opening is above his head. And yeah, and the transmission stopped. After that, there was like nothing coming, and I was like, okay. And I felt like I was supposed to share with you, but I've been battling some stuff that's been keeping me from sharing the stuff with you. So yeah, I hope that like maybe this opened your eyes. Maybe there's like other people that have gotten certain things that are somewhat similar, and we can start putting this stuff together, because I hope I'm not the only one that's receiving this stuff, so yeah, like the gate, something like a gate up here in the sky. And it seemed like okay, one more thing I forgot to say, and like how I said at the beginning, where it seemed like everything was fine, people were walking around. They were, it didn't seem like, I guess the reason why the vision opens with this people walking around is to show me that, okay, the earth it's calm, there's not like problem. But like at the end, before this thing finally breaks and opening a lot of stuff, like the entire earth is like in chaos. There's no power. It seemed like there's something. I didn't actually see anything, but it's like it was coming to me as if that's what was happening. Like there was something that was happening with the people themselves. Like something was off with them, and they had like no power. That's one of the things that I've kind of that was kind of like really noticeable. Is like it was like the power, all of the power was being used to power this thing right here, or the antennas. So because it's kind of like it was saying that, look, the people think that the energy is off, like the power is off because of the earthquake, but in reality it's really off because of this instead. So yeah, and so be ready. So yeah, and I have like a second part, but I'm gonna end this video now, and then I'm gonna start on the second part next time.